Well, hello and welcome to the floor of my office in this new video. Now, you may be wondering, Nick, why are you filming on the floor? It's a very good reason for that. So, as you can see in front of you, there is a lot of blurred out stuff. And that is everything that I'll be taking with me on my next 2 months round the world trip. Now, this is all the photography gear. So obviously I'm not going to be showing you how many sets of underwear I'm going to be taking. This is purely the photography side of things. So I figured this would be a great time to make a video about this, and it is coincidentally part 2 of the video from last week, because I thought maybe this might, lend in some inspiration for you and your upcoming trip. Now, it doesn't have to be as massive and extensive as this trip is going to be, but nevertheless, there is a lens and a drone and little bits and pieces here for every single occasion. So what a great idea. I know, I hear you. It's an excellent idea. So let me put all this in a bag, or the bag that I'm going to be taking with me, because as much as I would like to have had this on a nice table, the money that I would have spent on a nice table did in fact go towards all these nice pieces of camera gear that you see in front of me. So I'm going to pack it into the bag, and then we're going to explain everything that is coming with me and whether or not it might help you with your decisions as to what to take on your next trip. So, I'm going to get off the floor, pack this up. I'll see you in a tick. Alright, we are all packed up and we have a slightly better angle for the camera to be looking at us now. So, everything that is in the bag is as follows. Firstly, the Sony a7 IV with the 20mm f1.8G lens attached to it. Now, as I said in one of my recent videos, I'm normally a zooms guy, but this lens has made me really reconsider primes, because this I have found is as useful as the 17 to 28mm Tamron f2.8, except this is an f1.8. So this is what I'll be doing the majority of the face-to-camera sort of vlogging. Didn't want to say the word vlogging, but vlogging parts of the videos are going to be with this lens, because I found it incredibly versatile for a 20mm. So that is going to be sitting in the very, very bottom in the side entrance pocket, so I'll be able to get to this nice and easily. Next is the Tamron 28-200. Now, if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know how much I love this lens. So this comes with me everywhere I go when it comes to camera gear, because this is just so versatile and so useful that I couldn't imagine ever not bringing it on a shoot. So that is probably what is going to be used for the majority, if not all, of the pictures when it comes to this trip, and maybe probably a lot of the video. So we'll get to that bit in a second. Now, next is the DJI Mini 3 Pro. Now, I bought this drone to complement the Air 2S, which I've also got, which we'll get to in a minute. But this is going to be the B drone. So if I am going just for a specific day hike, and I know I'm only going to need one battery, and I want to carry light, then I'm going to bring in this over the Air 2S, because it is just so much easier to carry. Now, that has also got the controller sitting next to it in the middle of the bag, and that's just there. Don't really think that needs much of an explanation. It's the controller. So next to that is the DJI Air 2S. Now, this is the workhorse. This is what everything, like all the cinematic, the serious video, is going to be being filmed with this, because if you know this drone, you know how much of a beast it is. Now, I wouldn't not bring it with me, but because of the fact that it is a little bit bigger and a little bit more annoying, not to use the word annoying, but a little bit more annoying to charge and to get going, then this is just going to be for all the serious work. So less of the fun stuff, more of the serious stuff for the cinematic films that I'll be making for you guys in the coming months. Now, underneath this is the Tamron 17 to 28, which I just mentioned has been replaced by my 20mm G lens by Sony. Now, the reason I'm bringing this with me, and the reason it's in my camera bag more specifically, is because in Australia we don't really have that many mediums to sell used cameras. There's plenty of trade-in options, but there isn't a medium to sell them. So in the UK and in the US, so you guys might know of it too, there is a company called mpb.com, and they will buy your used camera gear and sell it to you at what they deem to be the market rate. Now, that's not sponsored because mpb.com isn't in Australia, but because I used to live in the UK, I have everything set up, so I'm bringing this halfway around the world to sell it, because it's near impossible to sell here, because that's just the nature of things. So that just sits at the bottom in a place where I'm never going to touch it, and once I'm actually on the ground landed, that will go straight into the suitcase. Next, we have the controller for the Air 2S that just sits in the bottom bit there, so that again doesn't need an explanation, I don't think. And then in the middle of this is where I have my Rode microphone. Now, this is the Rode Video Mic Go 2. Now, some people, they much prefer the wireless option, but I do find that the wired option, and especially the Rode options, they are extremely high quality microphones, and even though you've got to plug it in with the cord that comes with it, that's not really something I'm too fussed about, to be completely honest. And because of the fact that it's made in Australia, and represent, not many things are made in Australia these days, so whenever there's an option to buy something that is made locally, I will take it. So that's the little Rode mic, and that just sits in the middle. It doesn't need the foam thing, because the foam thing is protecting something else, which we will get to as well in a little bit. So next to the Rode microphone is my GoPro. This is the Hero 9, because I'll be doing a fair bit of street photography videos that will be through Singapore and London and all that fun stuff, and because of that I do need an action cam, and it's the GoPro. It goes with me everywhere, so it's very, very convenient, shoots excellent video, and that's why sits there. It hasn't got a footprint, it just disappears off into the bag, and sometimes I even forget that it's actually there. Next is the Tamron 28-75G2. Now, this is my prime that is not a prime lens, so this will be for everything that is going to be sort of that cinematic video, or if I need something that is especially blurred out, I will be using this to take those type of pictures and that type of video. Now, I have mentioned in a previous video when I was discussing the 28-200 about the professional creamy blacked out bokeh bits and stuff, and I still attest to that. I don't want a massive bazooka lens, but this is where this will come into its own, because this will be very, very useful, because especially on the A7 IV, when you are filming in 4K, you just can put it into crop mode and you're still getting a very nice clean 4K image, and then it becomes a 110mm lens, if in effect, so not actually, but that's where this is going to go. Also, I think I've got a bit of a dust reaction from lying on the floor, so if my eyes are watering, then you know why. So next, underneath the Rode little foam thing, we have just the 2 batteries for the Air 2S. They just sit down there, and the Rode thing sort of holds it all together so they don't bounce around. That's what I've found to be especially useful for that, like the windshield, it's called a windshield. Then in the middle, we have this box here. Now, obviously it is a battery box, but I don't know why Sony make the box so big personally, because inside it I have 3 batteries. Now, ignore the COVID mask, it's really just there just to buff things out and to hold it all in place, but I have 2 Neewer batteries and I have 2 Sony batteries, so that is what I figured normally gets me through quite a significant amount of work for both film and video. Not having a good one today, am I? But I'm not going to edit it out, because sometimes you've got to be real. Sometimes you have to be real. It's not always a polished life, because life isn't polished. Oh, that was deep, wasn't it? So that sits just in there, and it's holding these 2 filters in above it. Now, that is my variable ND filter. I have done a video on that. It's probably one of the first videos I made on the channel, and it is just a 2:32 ND. So it's been great. I've never really needed anything less, and the reason why I buy all Tamron lenses, and the Sony one fits in with this is because of the 67mm filter thread. So that does help, so then I can just get one ND filter for all my lenses, as well as a circular polarizer, which is again 67mm, but that's for pictures and long exposure stuff. So that sits in there. Now next is this little compartment here, and that just holds a spare lens cap, because you never know, you could, or I could lose one, and then I'm not going to be a happy boy, to say the very least. And then lastly is the top bit. So here in the top is empty space, and I've just got this container. Now that's just going to hold probably toothbrush, toothpaste, just stuff that I'll need on the plane. It's not going to hold any cords, because all the cords that I'll be needing, I'm just going to be putting that into the main suitcase, because I'm not going to be doing any film work whilst on the plane. This is just to get everything safely from A to B. Now that empty space up the top is going to be great when I am on the ground, because I'll be able to use that empty space to, you know, move things around and put in some extra things. Like maybe I might want to put a battery pack in there to charge things up for the day, like, you know, charge this drone if I decide I want to do drone work but I don't have the battery. Then I can charge the drone up off the battery pack, which is why the Mini is such a great drone for travel. And lastly, the laptop will go in the laptop sleeve just here. So obviously it's not in there yet, because I still need the laptop to edit this video so you can see it, but that is where that will go, and then everything will be able to get transported overseas to all the locations safely and securely. So I think that's everything. That's how I'm going to be packing for the specific purpose of getting it from A to B. Once I'm on the ground, I'll be able to put things in suitcases, just, you know, mix it about, because I won't be needing everything on me on specific days. Like I won't need to be bringing Tamron 17 to 28 with me. As soon as I get that on the ground, it's going straight in the suitcase, so I don't have to be carrying it. And maybe I might just need one drone for the day. If that's the case, then I'll just bring one drone, so I can just leave the other one in the suitcase. So that's the rough cut. This is how everything is going to be. So I think that's everything. I think we've covered it all. So, I mean, let me know. Do you think this is a bit excessive for 2 months, or do you think that it is the bare minimum? Personally, I think it's somewhere in the middle. Like, maybe I've got a little bit too much, maybe I don't have enough. I'm not too sure yet. I've never actually gone away for this long, so I think this is going to be a great little test, because this is a test to see if a long-term trip is something that is doable and something that, you know, I can handle both mentally and physically. So let me know what you think, and if it has given you any inspiration for anything that you might be thinking of doing in the coming months or years, then do let me know down below, because I'm always interested to hear your thoughts and your plans, and how my videos and how my content sort of, you know, helps you out on that journey. But if anything, I can recommend Tamron 28-200. I would never go anywhere without this lens, because if you're ever in a pickle, that will get you out of it. So just wanted to throw that in at the bottom. Anyway, let me know down below. If you haven't liked this video already, then please do like it, as it is a massive help for my channel. And if this is something that you want to see, or you want to see where I'll be going for the next 2 months, then do make sure to subscribe, because it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a really big one. So anyway, have a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one. But I won't be seeing you here. I'll be seeing you somewhere over there. I don't know where it's going to be. I'll see you somewhere soon. Yeah. All right. Goodbye, and goodbye, Australia. See you soon.